Welcome to the Free to Be Free portal. I'm Julia Ananda, your host, and I'm here with Margaret Miller. She will be bringing in the energy insights for the new moon on April 27th. Hi, Margaret.
Hi, Julia. So glad to be here. Yes, we have a new moon coming up on April 27th, and it is at 12:31 p.m. That's Pacific time, so you have to adjust for your time zone. And it is in Taurus, 8 degrees of Taurus. So new moons in Taurus have to do, the energy of Taurus has to do with earth, grounded energies. The new moon is new beginnings, what we want to start to work towards, what our aspirations are, what our intentions are. Really good time for focusing in on our intentions for some new beginning. And so I want to look a little bit at the astrological chart. And so in a moment, I'll share my screen. But first, I just wanted to remind us of the Sabian symbol that's associated with this new moon. I spoke briefly about it in our energy insights for the week, and but the sun and the moon are always conjunct at the new moon, right? They're always together, so they're at the same degree of Taurus, 8 degrees of Taurus, and the Sabian symbol there is a sleigh on land uncovered by snow. And the energy of that is this anticipating and preparing for the future, for what can be expected in the future. And so it's really showing us the value of a future oriented imagination, right? And so I loved this as a symbol for a new moon, a future oriented imagination. So I just wanted to sort of put that out there at the very beginning of this. And so just briefly sharing the screen here. Okay, we have the chart up. And you can see the new moon, the sun and the moon are at 7 degrees and 47 minutes of Taurus. We round up to 8 so that we can talk about the Sabian symbol. And they are joined up here in Taurus by Uranus, who is still at the end of Taurus. And we can see that there is a whole slew of planets here right at the end of Pisces and the beginning of Aries. So there's a lot of new beginning energy. The old things, the old is coming to an end. We're right, the North Node and Saturn are conjunct and very close to Venus at the end of Pisces. So they are like still working with what needs to be completed, right? The North Node of the moon is sort of the direction that the soul, or the collective, in this case, the collective soul, wants to go. Saturn is our structures and our foundations, and it's getting ready to move into Aries shortly. And remembering that the Aries is the beginning sign of the zodiac, so it's already talking about new beginnings. And then we have Neptune and Mercury and Chiron all still in the sign of Aries. Everybody is direct, everybody's moving forward. I'm not doing a full astrology reading. I'm reminding myself and and uh, and my listeners here that I'm not doing a full astrology reading. I'm just kind of tapping into the energies here so that we can kind of feel what we might want to focus on for this new moon. And I see it as this credible energy of what we want, what is the preparation that we can feel from our heart center that we need to make to prepare ourselves for our future. And whatever that future is, right? Because that's always the unknown part. We can plan, we can make our plans, right? But we don't actually know. But what are the grounded steps that we can take to move forward? Also, the gene key that's still associated with this new moon is that 27th gene key that moves from selfishness to altruism to selflessness. So, what are some of the steps that we can take, and what are actions that are more aligned with with our true purpose and what are the gifts that we can be preparing to offer in the future out into the collective? I think this is really an important thing for all of us to really be focusing on how we can contribute to a better future uh, at this time. Now, you might notice this in this chart. There is this, see this triangle here? It's actually called a grand cross, where we have this opposition between Mars over here in Leo and Pluto over here in Aquarius. Pluto has just reached the fifth degree of Aquarius. It's going to be moving back and forth between the first couple of degrees of Aquarius. And this is important. I'm wanting to bring this into the conversation, this opposition between Mars and Pluto, because Mars is the warrior. It's the physical energy. It's ruled by Aries, and it is this. It sort of has it's the warrior. It has a warlike nature. It's kind of can be seen as an aggressive energy, and Pluto is power and the use or the misuse of power and regeneration of power and finding. And in Aquarius, Pluto will be teaching us about how to use our own power and what true power really is versus what force is. And so Mars and Pluto in opposition to each other is a very strong and intense energy that we can feel, in the world. It's for all of us. This chart is the world's chart, really, and so you can feel that tension. But and then it's in a square aspect to this new moon, right? So in the square is friction, and so it's saying, you know what, we have to do things differently. We have to come to a new understanding and do things differently and plan for and envision for ourselves a different way of moving forward. And so I looked at that and I thought, yes, this is really quite a powerful energy that I wanted to, I really wanted to look at. And Oh, yes. Another thing about this Pluto that I want to bring in is that 5 degrees of Aquarius, the Sabian symbol for 5 degrees of Aquarius, is a council of ancestors, is seen uh, guiding a young leader. And so I feel this, this energy of the youth, of the young leader, the visionaries. The visionaries are becoming empowered because of this guidance from the ancestors, the ones who know about the mistakes that have been made in the past and that are are there to guide us. And I feel that I feel it really strongly and personally because it happens to be exactly on my Saturn right now, and we'll be moving back and forth over the next couple of years, really working on my own structures and foundations, and so I I feel it really really powerfully that this is this new moon. You can tap into also the guidance from the ancestors, right? Like call in. We have lots of help available to us. So call that in. I'm going to stop sharing the screen because otherwise I'll try and go into an entire uh, astrological reading instead of just sort of an energetic insight. But so that energy of the ancestors can help us to envision that future. And if we think about what is it that we want, what is it that we're trying to create right now in our lives, in whatever area of our life, right? One of the ways that I utilize uh, the energy of the new moon and like making intentions for the new moon, and the reason that I look at where some of the other planets are and where what degree that new moon is at, is so that I can really tap into those frequencies and make them stronger, in my own awareness, and make a little ceremony or do some kind of a little ritual that anchors that in, and that says to the ancestors and to the guides, guardians, allies, angels, whatever you want to call them, however you look at that, says to the universe, this is my intention, and I am open to receive the guidance, and I'm open to receive whatever help is available to me in actualizing this in my life. And I think the new moon energy is always so powerful for that. And I wanted to talk just a little bit more about Taurus, right? Because thinking about the Taurus energy, I really want to just remind us that we all have vast resources available to us, inner and outer. Whether we are, whether we see ourselves as rich or poor, or or talented or not, whatever it is, there we have inner resources that we may have not tapped into. And one of the ways that we can do that is by asking for those to awaken within us with the energy of this new moon in Taurus, and to look at what our values are, to look at what skills we have that we can apply now, and what are the dreams and visions that we have that are the next natural steps for us, and go ahead and utilize this energy to maybe take one action step towards that vision, right? And so another energy of Taurus is effectiveness. Like there is a lot of potential for being really effective in our actions right now. And especially with all the planets being direct and the actually the support of the more challenging energies of that Mars and Pluto, it really, sometimes these difficult energies that are so intense out there in the world are exactly the kind of inspiration that we need, or that really are the kind of energy that we need to cause us to go, wait a minute, I really need to take some action here in my life to ensure something better for my future. And I've seen that, with a lot of my clients and a lot of the people that I talk to and work with. This is the what's happening right now is we're looking at reinventing ourselves and our lives in a way that is sustainable, in a way that's sustainable for the future, and recognizing that I think some of the things that are occurring, and a lot of the things that are occurring, are happening because of our of the choices that we've made in the past, collectively and individually as well. In our own lives, it's the life that we have right now is a result of the steps that we have taken up to this point. And so the new moon always gives us an opportunity to start again and to clean that slate a little bit and re-envision something better for ourselves, and to take the action steps that align more with who we want to be and the future that we want to create.
And what would a new moon ceremony look like?
Oh, well, it could be elaborate or simple, or, so I would say a Taurus new moon would call me out to be out under the stars, if at all possible, sitting on the earth, maybe on a blanket, and have maybe a, a small group of beloved friends around me, and having some sort of a container that could hold maybe some slips of paper. This is just one example, like just an idea that's coming as I'm talking. That each of us would go around. We would maybe call in the energies of the directions and the elements, and call in our ancestors, and call in our guides and our guardians and our allies. And maybe we would clear the space, first, and maybe use some sage or other cleansing herbs to clear ourselves in the space, and then maybe set a collective intention, or if we're by ourselves, set an individual intention, and then write it down. Write it down. Write down maybe even a paragraph, or maybe just a sentence, but maybe a whole paragraph about what that new thing, or that new project, or that new self that you're envisioning, and put it in the bowl. Maybe speak it out loud, especially if you're in a group. take the time to hear each person speak their intention, and to be witness to that, and to hold the space for that for each other. And then when everyone is complete, decide what you're going to do with them. Are you going to, maybe sometimes I will take that slip of paper and I will like put it in a little capsule, like a gel capsule or something, and I'll bury it in the earth like a seed, planting a seed. Or sometimes I will take it and if we have a fire, if it's a, if the ceremony is allows for some sort of a fire, even as just a small little fire in a bowl, lighting those intentions on fire and letting the intention go up into the ethers, and then giving thanks. For me, always a ceremony includes some form of giving gratitude for what's received. That's a just a simple idea for a new moon ceremony. It could be as small as just taking 2 minutes and thinking about your intention and writing it down, and maybe posting it, putting it on a post-it note and having it somewhere where you're going to see it every day. It doesn't have to be complicated, but really, these things are powerful. And when we make a little ritual for ourselves or a ceremony, we have like exponentially empowered that intention. Yeah, exponentially empowered that intention. And so I always think, we don't have to be um, ritual experts. We don't have to be, ceremonial leaders. We don't have to be that to do that for ourselves. We can be our own ceremonial leaders, right? It's not, it doesn't have to be in a particular spiritual setting. It can be your own. It can be, I mean, if you have the basis for that, if you have the training and the expertise in those areas, then do that kind of ceremony. And you wouldn't need me to tell you, right? But all of us can create some sort of ceremony for ourselves. Um, another way that I just flashed on it, that I is to, if you play music of any kind, go out in the moonlight and make a song, or be in, wherever. If it's a piano, you may not be able to move it outside, but make a song or make some music that speaks to the intention of that new moon, or dance. Do a dance of intention. And you could, combine all of those things into a very elaborate and beautiful ceremony that way too. I was thinking about my singing bowls, and putting out some kind of a frequency, like putting even the energy of my intention into each of the singing bowls, and then playing them and allowing them to resound out into the ethers.
Mm. I think that you have created this intention for us to go deep inside and align with what's true for us now, what's true for us in the future, and create our little ceremony or our community ceremony of intention under the new moon. Mm.
Yeah.
Much gratitude, Margaret. Much
Oh,
gratitude to you.
you're so welcome. Yeah, and have fun with it. It can be really, really joyful and fun to do.
Mm.
Yeah, it's It's really good for the soul.
It feels good. It feels good just talking about it.
Yeah.
Thank you. And to our audience, please type in the comments what you did for your ceremony. Let's share. Let's keep those intentions going and hold them for each other. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank
And remember that the energetic insights for the full week are in our previous video. So please go ahead and check that video out as well. And we'll be creating a video for an energetic recalibration that helps us align to the highest aspects of the energies moving through this week. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye bye.